The Jezreel Valley has a subtle beauty. Mountains on the north and south surround a sprawling valley filled with fertile soil. Farmers plant their crops in neat rows. Life is abundant here. In the book of Genesis, God created the heavens and earth and declared all was good. This goodness lingers in the Jezreel Valley. But Genesis also tells us about the fall of creation, of sin and the forces of evil entering the world. This too is evident here. War after war has been fought for control of this fertile valley. The Jezreel Valley is a place worth fighting for. We've seen its war stories. Now we're going to visit Megiddo, the most strategic location in the ancient world. And as we'll see, it's a city built for war. In fact, history's first recorded battle took place at Megiddo between the Egyptians and Canaanites in the 15th century BC. Since then, this valley has been linked with war. This reputation lands it a role in the last book of the Bible, Revelation. The Apostle John paints an apocalyptic scene, a final battle where Christ returns to destroy evil once and for all at a place called Armageddon. Armageddon is likely derived from two Hebrew words, Har and Magdon, meaning the hill of Megiddo. Megiddo is the most strategically located city in the ancient world. To understand it, let's use a couple of maps. Megiddo is located just here, in the land of Israel, on a land bridge between the Mediterranean Sea and Arabian Desert, so your travel options are already limited. They're narrowed even further when we come to Megiddo here. International travelers are moving up the coastal plain. Their goal is to get here to the Jezreel Valley, but we've got a 30-mile-long obstacle in the way, Mount Carmel. And so what the travelers did in the ancient world was look for natural chalk valleys like the Aruna Pass to make their way all the way through here to the Jezreel Valley. What makes a difference here is width of the passage, narrows to just 2 meters in width. That means that all international commodities, all international armies moving through this passageway are moving through a passageway just this wide. That makes Megiddo a place worth fighting for. That makes Megiddo a place purpose-built for war. This was the way into Megiddo in the 16th century through a gatehouse that was designed to resist unauthorized entry. Let me tell you what I mean. There's a swinging door here. There's soldiers positioned in these little alcoves here and there, and then one more swinging gate to get through before you're in the city itself. This is a place that's designed to resist entry. You'd expect a city designed for war to withstand repeated attacks. This is not the case with Megiddo. The attacking force has taken this city in all its most famous battles. King Solomon acquired Megiddo in the 10th century BC. It was in shambles and needed to be rebuilt. So when Solomon built his gatehouse, he built it higher and bigger. Two things had changed. One is that the city was built at a higher elevation, and secondly, this city built for war had chariots. That meant the entryway had to be a ramp. The chariots would have come up the ramp and entered the city through the gate. The next great battle at Megiddo took place about 400 years later when King Josiah fought the Egyptian army, which was moving north through the Promised Land. King Josiah took on the larger army at Megiddo because it is the one place where a narrow pass made it possible for the Judeans to fight against the Egyptians, just a few soldiers at a time. In this battle, good King Josiah died, and we're left to wonder, will evil always triumph over good? Today, Megiddo is at the center of a different kind of conflict among Christians. How do we read Revelation? Will God's final victory over Satan, sin, and suffering physically take place here at Megiddo? Or is Megiddo a metaphor that highlights how consequential that battle will be. It's always hard for me to talk about the book of Revelation in this spot because, well, so many Christians have different understandings of how to read the book and what the book is saying, and I don't care to become mired in those conversations because, quite frankly, I don't know that there's enough evidence to convince me that any one perspective is correct. The whole book of Revelation is by design written as an apocalyptic piece of literature, which is a fancy term for kind of a caricatured view of what's going to happen. And so we have this almost cartoonish-like, and I mean that in the best sense of the word, almost this cartoonish-like depiction of life behind which we need to see some sort of reality, either in the thought world or real world. And in this tumultuous reality, we need hope. A hope that evil and suffering will end, a hope that all war will cease, and peace will reign. The book of Revelation delivers two powerful insights that I hold dearly. Number one, I can expect between now and the end of time for things to continue to deteriorate and get worse for the Christian world. The kingdom of God is not going to have a soft and easy time as it moves into the end. It will be challenging. But the second message of the book of Revelation, the one that I hold so precious and so dearly, is this: don't worry, dear Christian, it will get better. The victory is known from the beginning of the battle. I hear the distant triumph song even as I sit here, knowing that in the end, the kingdom of God will overcome the kingdoms of this world. Megiddo, the setting for the first recorded battle and intimately connected to the last great battle. The endless battles fought here in the Jezreel Valley point us to a spiritual battle that has been raging for ages between good and evil. And this battle won't be determined by armies, gatehouses, or chariots, but by the death and the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The humble act of love that assures us that in the end, the good creation that God spoke into being in the beginning will be made new.